Hello, this is Michael Hexter. Welcome to Politics 2100 here on YouTube. So, this episode I'm calling Action Alert. Democracy in the U.S. hinges on Secretary of State races in Nevada and Arizona. So, this is I'm really taking this from Mehdi Hasan's reporting, and I found that his reporting is correct. But anyway, that there are two races for Secretary of State, which in which the Democrats lag. So Secretary of State is uh, unlike on the national level, the Secretary of State is a uh, largely responsible for the voting apparatus of the state, the U.S. state, and so uh, there have been various ways in which the Republicans have used their power as secretaries of state to engineer their own victories or attempted to facilitate Republican victories, which is unusual given American history, that this tended to have been a relatively, even though it is often elected position, that it's considered to be something that is uh, a bureaucratic um, position that doesn't really uh, shouldn't really involve much in the way of politics or political decision making. But in this case, we have two Republicans in Nevada and in Arizona that are saying that they will throw the race essentially to Trump no matter what in 2024. And they are pledging their allegiance to Trump, and they are to otherwise quite despicable neo-fascist or fascist individuals, who will undermine American democracy if they're given any chance at all, and especially if obviously if they win the Secretary of State races respectively. Ralph Fincham is in Arizona, and Marchant, Jim Marchant is in Nevada. So anyway, these are races where basically the U.S. electoral map, uh, uh, in terms of either Democratic or Republican win loss, these are two purple or more blue turning but purple states where the traditional Republican apparatus is fighting uh, like hell, you could say, or fighting in the way that fascists fight in our kind of creaky democracy to undermine and the rule of law, and also, but undermine in particular democracy and the counting of votes. And these are states where Donald Trump has disputed the count from 2020, and this created a large scene, or a big scene in the most populous county of Arizona. And it would help to have in the Secretary of State position, not only would it help, it's crucial that the secretaries of state simply adhere to vote counting and ensure the maximally accurate vote counting, no matter who wins, who gets more votes. And it doesn't look like, or it's clear that the Republicans are committed to a different formula where they favor their own party, and while Democrats might slightly favor their own party, they are more likely to uphold the rules of democracy than the Republicans in these particular states, and it's been in general the case over the last decade or so, and this includes this is a trend in a way that started with the 2000 election, where Republicans realized they could by essentially creating a coup or a putsch within the voting apparatus in Florida in 2000. They could stop, they could halt, they could interfere with vote counting, they could politicize it in a way by exerting, by bringing in enthusiastic, partisans who would disrupt voting literally physically, and through a combination of legal finagling but also sort of white collar coup making, as well as regular physical coup making, could intimidate vote counting, and could make the process by which votes were tabulated to be more favorable to, or at least to try to preserve in 2000, try to preserve the lead that George Bush had over Al Gore in that election temporarily, when in fact actually the opposite was true. Gore actually won that state and would have been president if the votes had been counted correctly. But anyway, this phenomenon is something that the Republicans are now betting on completely, and this is something that obviously that Donald Trump is fully on board with, and is trying to, along with other Republicans. I mean, there are a number of elements to this anti-democratic coup that the Republicans are attempting to pursue. Gerrymandering, other means of changing the laws, actually changing laws to favor Republicans more. But anyway, more than they already are favored. So they were already favored by the Electoral College and the Senate composition, and also the gerrymandering of many districts. So anyway, so this is a plea. The action alert is to donate as much as you can to in Nevada, Cisco Aguilar. He's the Democrat. Cisco, Cisco Aguilar, Aguilar. And in Arizona, Adrian Fontes, Adrian Fontes, TES, I'm sorry. So to donate to them, possibly if you can remotely, if you're not in either of those states, to potentially phone bank, or I'm not sure if they're set up for that. I've put in some inquiry about that, but they're certainly open to donations. And they are currently lagging in the polls behind these two committed MAGA stooges, essentially, who are, or goons, you could say, who are willing to undermine American democracy because they are racists, or they're, fascists, or whatever you want to say. Trumpists, or right-wing, far-right Republicans, and neo-fascists. So anyway, and they are lagging about 3 percentage points, each of them, or 3 or 4 percentage points in the latest polls from October the 6th. So I think a concerted effort by Democrats both in those states and also nationally to support these candidates. So Cisco Aguilar in Nevada and Adrian Fontes in Arizona can turn the election potentially to the Democrats. And so I am pleading with you to donate what you can, and volunteer if you can for these two races. I think this is a fairly high, let's say, bang for your buck in terms of, these are local races. They are now, there are obviously some limitations in terms of, how much these campaigns can utilize money, but I'm quite sure with more advertising and more, maybe more, flyers and leafleting and so forth and so on, more supplies, they can get their message out. And also, hopefully, they can also make it known to both their voters that they are, in a way, in a quest to save American democracy. And this is because, in part, the way the Electoral College works, that Nevada and Arizona are playing this key role in the way they are states that are in really rapid transition in terms of their demographics, but their political systems have lagged behind that demographics, and this is a fight for the multi-ethnic, pluralistic democracy that we're supposed to have, rather than the ethno-state or the Christo-fascist ethno-state that the Republicans seem to want to create. So anyway, I will put links into the description box to the campaigns of these two candidates, and also to some news accounts that highlight the importance of these races. So please support Cisco Aguilar and Adrian Fontes in the next couple weeks, and let's hope that they will win their races. Thanks, and see you in the next video.